let's look at some of the ways you can move children's records around in ClassMon. So both within a login and to external logins. So first up, let's say you've got two groups. So you're the actual educator for two groups. You've got your 3-year-olds and your 4-year-olds, or maybe you've got two 3-year-old groups, and you've rolled over to the new year. You've got your groups set up. If you wanted to move children between the groups, then you can simply select children by ticking them, go to Manage Children, and then just move them to whichever group you'd like to. So say we want to move them up to the group to the 4-year-olds. We apply that. Now those children's records have moved up to the 4-year-olds. So there's Olivia there. Okay, so that's how you move children's records within a login. Now the second way is if you need to, maybe you have a child in your group that is moving up to the 4-year-old group, and the 4-year-old teacher is in another room, is a different person, and has a different login, of course. So you need to take a 3-year-old child's record. So say we take Alexis. So we tick Alexis, and we go to Manage Children. Now we actually want to export this child's record. So there's an export button down the bottom here, Export Child. And what that will do is package up everything you've done for this year. So this is if you're moving all their data across. If you've done it after a rollover, then there won't be any observations. It'll quickly just package up their contact information. But this file now contains all the observations for this current year and puts it into a file called Alexis Taylor. And it's a VST file, which is exclusive to ClassMon. It's just a package file. And that's going to save it in our documents library. So if I hit save, it's now exporting that file, and that's successful. So if you now open up My Documents or your Documents library using Windows Explorer, then you'll see a new file with the child's name and today's date. So we have Alexis Taylor, 25th of the 10th. We can now take this file and give it to anybody who would like to import this child's information. So I can pass that to them on a USB stick. I could even email this file because it is quite a small file. As soon as it gets over 5 megabytes or so, I would not recommend emailing because some email servers just won't accept files that large. If you have a network drive, if you're at a school or a bigger service, then you could copy that to a network drive, where then the other teacher can pick that up and import that into their version of ClassMon. So that child's information will then come into their login. A common mistake people make is that they try to double-click these types of files. This is a ClassMon file, and it can only be imported into ClassMon. So double-clicking the file will not open the file. It'll come up with some sort of Windows error or say that Windows cannot open this file. So you don't do that. What you do is you give it to the next teacher. They open up their version of ClassMon. So let's just say they've got the 4-year-old group, and then they can go to Manage Children and click the Import Child button, and that will take them to the Documents library. They would then browse to the USB stick, if that's what you've given the file on. Then they can scroll down and find Alexis Taylor, double click. Now that imports that child into this 3-year-old group. There it is, that's successful. And when we close this, you'll see now we have a new child, Alexis Taylor, with all her information come in. So if you had observations in that export, then they will come through too. If it's only the contact information, then that's what you'll get.